Listen carefully before anything else. If you are watching this right now, it is not by chance. It is not because you missed something clear or obvious. It is because you felt something was off, but you did not yet have the right words to explain it. That feeling matters, and by the end of this video, it will make sense. Stay with me till the end. Before we go anywhere, let me say this quietly. If you are watching this, it is not because you ignored something obvious. It is because you noticed something small and could not name it yet. There is a specific type of man who ends up here. Men who watch before they move. Men who do not rush moments. Men who stay silent, not out of fear, but because they are studying the situation deeper than anyone thinks. And that is exactly why this situation feels confusing. Because on the surface, it looks like friendship, but underneath, something feels wrong. She laughs too easily around you, looks for excuses to be near you, touches your arm like it is accidental, yet it keeps happening again and again. You tell yourself, if she wanted more, she would say it. That belief feels logical, comforting, but incomplete. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people never say out loud. Some women do not pull away when they are not interested. They lean in more when they are waiting, and that waiting creates tension, not loud drama, but psychological tension, the kind that makes you doubt yourself while she quietly wonders why you haven't acted yet. So let us start with the first signal, the one most men see but brush aside too fast. 1. Expressive facial expressions. Watch her face. Not her words, not her tone, just her face. When a woman feels anticipation and it is not answered, her expressions reveal it. Her eyes widen slightly when you say something confident. Her eyebrows lift just a little longer than normal. There's a pause after you speak, like she expects more to come. Sometimes she bites her lip. Sometimes she exhales through a half smile that disappears too quickly. These are not random, they happen without thinking. And here's the part that changes how you see everything. Those expressions do not mean she is unsure. They mean she's surprised that you haven't acted on what she thought you already noticed. Men who stay quiet often misread this as friendliness, but friendliness does not come with eye contact that holds 1 second too long. Friendliness does not look like anticipation that gets ignored. That quick flash of disappointment you thought you imagined, you did not imagine it. She's not openly showing attraction, she's reacting to the lack of your response. And once you understand that, you stop seeing single moments and start seeing patterns. But facial expressions are only the first crack on the surface. The next sign is more intentional, and once you see it clearly, it becomes impossible to ignore. There comes a point where interest stops being accidental, it becomes planned. Men who notice patterns instead of reacting emotionally usually miss this, not because it is hidden, but because it does not look like movies taught you it would. This is where the second sign appears. 2. Inviting or suggesting one-on-one time. Listen carefully to how she talks about time with you. Not group plans, not casual hangouts that include other people, just you and her. I heard about this movie playing this weekend. Want to go together? I'm craving sushi. Want to grab dinner? We should check that place out sometime, just us. On the surface, it sounds harmless, easy, and low pressure, but psychologically, this is not neutral behavior. She's creating a private space, a setting where something could happen if you choose to allow it. And here's the perspective most men never think about. She already made her move. Women who are not interested do not isolate time. They spread it out. They keep things safely social. But when she keeps suggesting one-on-one moments, she's not asking for company, she's testing whether you see the opening. And when you don't take it, she doesn't pull away right away. She tries again. Different activity, same setup, because part of her believes you're just being careful.
Another part of her mind wonders if you are oblivious, and a quieter part, the one she tries not to hear, starts asking whether you even see her at all. This creates a strange emotional gap. She feels exposed without ever admitting anything. You feel comfortable without realizing you're standing at an open door. Men who do not rush intimacy often think they are being respectful here, and they are. But respect without awareness slowly turns into hesitation, and hesitation, over time, reads as disinterest. Not rejection, but disinterest. And that difference matters far more than you realize. Because once that question enters her mind, why hasn't he made a move yet? Her behavior begins to change slowly, quietly, but clearly. That shift is the third sign, and it is the one that confuses men the most because it does not feel positive or negative, it just feels wrong. And that discomfort, that is not a problem, that is information. This is where most men start doubting themselves because nothing bad is happening, but something is no longer the same. And people who rely on logic more than intuition often ignore this phase, even though it is one of the loudest signals there is. 3. Altered behavior around you. Interest, when unacknowledged, does not disappear, it changes form. You may notice she asks about your plans more often, casually, almost offhand. What are you doing this weekend? Are you seeing anyone lately? You're always so busy. I'm surprised you haven't asked me out for coffee yet. She laughs when she says it, keeps the tone light, but listen to the wording. Those are not jokes, they are tests. She is pressing gently against a boundary she believes should not still be there. And here's the uncomfortable reframe. This is not her chasing, it is her adjusting. She is trying to understand why nothing has happened, not whether she wants something to happen. Men who stay composed often mistake this for teasing, friendliness, or even impatience, but emotionally, what is happening is much more exact. She is experiencing cognitive dissonance. Her inner story says there is chemistry, your behavior says I am not acting on it. That contradiction creates tension inside her, not just inside you, and tension looks for relief. Sometimes it shows up as playful disappointment, sometimes as subtle comments like, "We always have such a good time together. It's funny you haven't made a move yet." Notice what she does not say. She does not say, "I like you," because in her mind, the signs were already obvious. So instead, she adjusts. Her tone shifts, her patience shortens just a little, and if you're observant, you'll notice something else underneath it all. She is still there, still engaging, still present. That is not indifference, that is expectation. But expectation, when left unresolved, does not stay neutral for long. It either deepens or collapses. Before that happens, another sign usually grows stronger, one that feels warm on the surface but carries pressure underneath. It's subtle, disarming, and easy to underestimate. That is what we will talk about next. This is the sign that feels the safest, and because it feels safe, it is often ignored, which is exactly why it works. 4. Frequent smiling or laughter. There is a difference between politeness and presence. You feel it the second you enter the room. Her face lights up, not dramatically, not forced, but instantly. She smiles before you finish a sentence, laughs at jokes you didn't even mean to make, finds meaning in pauses, in silence, in you. And here's the shift most men never make. This is not about humor, it's about connection. When someone is emotionally tuned to you, their body reacts before their mind steps in. Her laughter becomes automatic. Her smile lasts 1 second longer than it should. She looks at you when something funny happens, even if you were not the cause. Why? Because on a psychological level, she has already placed you in the role of the person she shares moments with. And now comes the part that creates pressure, quiet pressure. Sometimes she says things like, "You always make me smile," or half joking, half testing, "It's funny, how haven't you asked me out yet?" Men who are self-contained often brush this aside too easily. They think she is just being kind, but kindness does not focus on one person again and again. Interest does. And here is the uncomfortable truth hidden behind her smile. She is managing disappointment. every laugh is also an effort to keep the bond warm long enough for you to finally notice what she has been showing all along. That warmth is not endless. It is supported by hope, and hope, when stretched too far, starts looking for reassurance. That is why after the smiling, after the laughter, she often shifts into something deeper, more personal, more open. Not because she is oversharing, but because she is testing whether emotional closeness will unlock what physical hesitation could not. That transition is never accidental, and once you see it, you cannot ignore it. This is where things stop feeling casual, and for men who do not rush intimacy, this is often where confusion grows, because the connection suddenly feels real but still undefined. 5. She initiates meaningful conversations. Pay attention to what she asks you about, not your day, not surface-level stories. She asks about your future, your values, what you want without saying it's about her. Where do you see yourself in a few years? Do you believe in soulmates? What does a good relationship look like to you? These are not idle questions, they are alignment checks. She is not collecting information out of simple curiosity, she is mapping compatibility. And here is the psychological turn most men miss. People do not open emotional doors unless they hope someone will walk through them. When she shares personal stories, things she does not tell everyone, she is not just trusting you, she is inviting you into her inner world. Men who stay controlled often read this as bonding with no expectations attached, but emotional depth creates momentum, and momentum looks for direction. Every deep conversation is her saying, without words, "Look how well we connect here. Doesn't this deserve movement?" She may bring up love, commitment, what she wants in life, not to pressure you, but to see whether you step forward or stay still. And when you don't move, she doesn't always pull away, she leans closer. Which brings us to the next sign, because when words stop working, the body begins to speak, and it speaks softly at first. This is where intention becomes physical, not obvious, not bold, but clear if you are paying attention. 6. Subtle touches that are not random. It starts small, a light brush against your arm, a high five that lasts half a second longer, standing closer than needed when she talks. At first, it feels incidental, almost easy to forget, but it keeps happening. And here is the reframe that changes everything. People who feel uncomfortable do not touch. People who feel indifferent do not linger. Touch is the fastest way the nervous system tests safety and desire at the same time. When she looks for reasons to be physically close, she is not crossing a line, she is checking whether you will meet her there. Sometimes she even jokes, "We're always so close, why haven't you made a move?" That's not flirting for fun, that's a pressure release. Because by this stage, she has already taken emotional risks. She has isolated time, deepened conversation, kept the warmth alive. Touch becomes her final non-verbal question. Men who value restraint often pause here the longest because they fear misreading signals. But here is the uncomfortable clarity. At this point, she is not wondering if you like her, she's wondering why you won't act like it. Each subtle touch is both an invitation and a countdown, because when physical closeness is ignored, it doesn't stay neutral, it either grows or shuts down completely. Before that choice is made, one more sign often becomes stronger. Verbal, direct, and deceptively light. That's what comes next. By now, she has done almost everything except say it directly, and that's when the compliments begin to feel different. 7. Compliments that are not just compliments. You're really kind. You're smart. You have great style. You're different from most guys. On the surface, these sound harmless, encouraging, and warm, but notice the timing. They don't come when you're asking for reassurance. They come during quiet moments, when you're alone together, when there's space for something to happen and nothing does. Here is the psychological layer most people never talk about. Compliments at this stage are not about boosting confidence. They are about signaling attraction without forcing vulnerability. She is making her approval visible. Sometimes she adds a teasing edge. "How has someone like you not asked me out yet? Any girl would be lucky to have you." Men who stay composed often hear this and think she's just being kind, but kindness does not single out one person over and over.
Attraction does. And here is the uncomfortable shift that changes everything. When compliments become frequent, they stop being passive. They become a signal of expectation. She is telling you how she views you, hoping you will step into that role. Because from her side, the risk has already been taken. She has shown interest through time, touch, conversation, and warmth. Your silence is now the loudest factor in the room. And silence, when misunderstood, does not read as patience. It reads as uncertainty, or worse, disinterest. That is why she often redirects her effort elsewhere. Not fully away from you, but outward, which leads to the next sign, one that appears when she wants to be noticed without asking to be chosen. When interest is not acknowledged in person, it rarely fades. It moves quietly, with intention. 8. Social media engagement that is not casual. Suddenly, she is the first to like your posts, the first to comment, the one who reacts within seconds, almost like she was already watching. She does not just write, "nice pic," she mentions something personal, something only you would understand. She sends memes tied to inside jokes, articles about things you once mentioned briefly, messages that do not demand a reply but clearly invite one. Here's the psychological reality most men overlook. Online engagement is low-risk visibility. It lets her stay present without exposing herself again. It reminds you she exists in your mental space without asking why she is not already there. Men who do not chase attention often assume this is friendliness, but friendliness is wide. This is focused. She is signaling consistency. I notice you. I remember you. I am still here. And underneath all of it is a quiet question she will not say aloud. Are you ever going to do something with this? Social media becomes a bridge when real-world momentum slows, a way to keep the connection alive while she decides whether to keep investing, because attention without direction eventually feels exposed, and exposure, when unmet, does not stay patient forever. That is why the next sign appears not online, not verbally, but situationally. She starts creating moments, not obvious ones, but opportunities, and whether you see them determines what happens next. This is where intention stops hiding behind signals and starts shaping the environment, not forcefully, not dramatically, but precisely. 9. Creating opportunities. You're meant to notice. When a woman cannot understand why you haven't made a move, she doesn't wait quietly. She creates possibility. She lingers after conversations should already be over, finds reasons to be where you are again and again. She mentions she's free on a specific night, then goes quiet. That evening is pretty open for me. I don't really have plans this weekend. I might just stay in unless something comes up. These are not statements, they are openings. And here's the shift that changes how you see everything. She is not hoping you will confess feelings, she's hoping you will recognize the doorway she's standing in. Men who are emotionally disciplined often miss this because they don't want to assume. They wait for certainty, but certainty does not come first. Recognition does. Every opportunity she creates lowers the barrier just a little more. She makes it easier for you to step forward without risk because she's already carried most of it. And when those opportunities go unnoticed, something changes inside her. She starts wondering if you're choosing not to see them, not because you're afraid, but because you may not want what she wants. That's when the dynamic reaches its final edge. The last sign is not about hints, invitations, or timing. It's about space, physical space, emotional space, personal space. And once you understand this final signal, everything before it makes sense. This is the last sign, not because it's the loudest, but because it's the most revealing. 10. Sharing personal space and waiting. When a woman shares space with intention, she's no longer hinting. She sits beside you when other seats are open, leans in while speaking, close enough that stepping back would take effort. She finds reasons to touch you lightly, fixing your collar, brushing something from your shoulder. None of this is accidental. This is proximity with purpose. But there's a deeper layer most men miss. She's not only closing physical distance, she's opening emotional access. She tells you things she doesn't tell many people: personal stories, private thoughts, small truths that require trust. This is her saying quietly, "I'm already here. I made room for you." And here's the final psychological shift. At this stage, she's no longer asking whether you like her. She's asking whether you recognize what's being offered. Because space, real space, is vulnerable. And when that space is not taken, it doesn't feel like patience to her. It feels like being unseen, not rejected, unrecognized. That's why this moment matters more than all the others together. Once you understand this, the confusion fades. You realize something important. You were not slow. You were not weak. You were not clueless. You were acting without the full picture. And once you see the pattern, you stop second-guessing. You stop overthinking signals. You stop sitting in uncertainty, wondering what things mean. You move differently, calmly, deliberately, with awareness. Because men who understand dark relationship psychology don't chase signs, they recognize invitations. And once you recognize them, silence is no longer neutral. It becomes a choice. Now tell me in the comments, which of these signs stood out to you the most and why? Do you agree with this pattern or do you see it differently? Share your honest views. If this gave you clarity, make sure you watched till the end for the full picture. Subscribe, like, and share this video so others can understand dark relationship psychology without confusion.